So how do you get into WWE and get into, their system? Obviously, it's ECW, but you're in WWE. How'd you get signed there and become Braden Walker of all things?
Well, I think everybody has a story with this. Um, it works out for some, and it doesn't work for others. And for those that it doesn't work, there's always a story to it. So, yeah, so I wind up leaving. My contract was up, so it was my choice, and I got signed by WWE. And it's just funny because when you first go in, just the way they treat you and all the future plans they have for you. It's just everything sounds so great, and it's going to be awesome, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and and then once I start talking to the writers and I'm just trying to communicate more with them. There was just there they had absolutely no idea what they were going to do. For example, I was told, go ahead and bring your AMW jacket. Let's take a look at that, and maybe we like that kind of look. And so I brought it. They didn't even want to see it. I mean, if they saw it, it was for 2 seconds, and then that was completely gone. So they weren't interested in doing that. And it was when they were going to debut me with no just no background, no nothing. They wanted to do it with a whole new name, which I kind of accepted that going in. That wasn't a problem, even though I felt like I had a pretty decent name on my own. It's not uncommon to go to WWE and have a name change.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that really didn't. I kind of went into it knowing, okay, well, what do we got? We went through. It was the day of. I thought there would be a little bit more preparation, but the day of, we went through some names, and I was trying to give my input as much as I could. But in the end result, we wound up with Braden Walker. So it was, and I go out there and just no build up whatsoever. It was just kind of like here's this generic guy going out there, and even my gear was kind of made up that day. Um, Nothing to it, no story, no nothing. And I go out there and have my match, and um, even my match, they were picking apart, because I felt like I mean, I know how to wrestle, but even before I went out, we're trying to rush to do a pre-tape, which we wound up having to do it live right before my match. And once that was done, I had to run to a gorilla position to even go out for my match. And as I'm there, it's like they were taking away this move or taking away that move, and I just couldn't be me. Is what it really boiled down to. Any of my moves that I was doing, I mean, the only thing I was left with was a clothesline. Um, so I went out, and it just, I don't know, just looking back on it, one of the examples I bring up, Ron Killings and I, who people know now as R Truth, we were signed at the same time. And maybe it was because he had worked for them in the past, but I just felt like they put a lot more effort into him. Um, and this is not a shot on Ron. I love Ron. I love that he's still there. Uh, but for example, his music. His music was something that he had put together, and they allowed him to use that. So that props to him for that. But they even sent a camera crew down to I think he's in North Carolina, to his hometown, and they filmed a little, just maybe some of the streets, where he came from, and that they just put a little background into a little story, so that you at least cared about this guy that was coming out, our truth that was coming out. Had a little background on him, and he's coming out to music that he's come out to before, and he's comfortable, and it just, I think that there's a big difference between what he did and then what I did. With me, it was generic music, generic gear, generic, not even a generic story, just no story at all. Um, so yeah, the name was thrown together, everything was kind of thrown together, and I was thrown out there, and all I could rely on was, okay, this is what I'm forced to do. Let me go out and wrestle and be me. Well, they wouldn't even let me do that. So it was just complete breakdown of everything. They went from promising you the moon and to not not knowing what to do, and then you're just kind of thrown into the mix.
So, have you ever seen like the videos online where they have like the jokey Braden Walker, like, and the time he talked to Matt Hardy backstage, and then it's like you saying to Armando Alejandro Estrada, like, "I'm gonna punch your damn teeth down your throat," like, the funny little jokey videos, just because they didn't do anything with you, and like people were thought it was like so funny. It's like let's just create this, this funny thing of Braden Walker. They did absolutely nothing with this guy.
Yeah, I've seen them. I didn't see them at the time, but yeah, I mean, it's hard not to. And I just try to get a laugh out of it. Just what it is, what it is. I think that for people to put the time in to make something like that, they must have seen what I had done in TNA. They must
Right.
have seen a little bit of something. So I think in a way, while some people may think it's a slap in the face, it's another way of letting people know that here was a guy that they obviously could have done something with. We've seen what he can do in TNA. We've seen his wrestling capabilities. We've seen he can talk. He can do promos. He can. He's got a good look to him. Just everything. Checking the boxes. So for them to put this in there and say, hey, and talk about the WWE run and yeah, the shots with Matt and Armando and yeah, it's just it. I think it was just a kind of it was a letdown to everybody, not just me. But anybody that was excited for me to go there and hey, let's see Chris Harris on this level. For I almost feel like I let everybody down as well because it wasn't. It was a bust. It was not at all what I expected. It was not at all what anybody else expected. You can always point fingers to me, to them, whatever the case may be. But the truth is, it just didn't work.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at the Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos. And while you're at it, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Hannibal TV.